Boom. A boom. Boom, boom, boom. Let's just do this. Bam. I'm here. Hacker voice. I'm in. I made myself slightly bigger, because why not? Right. Hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Let's get some music going up in here. Incredibly professional. Turn this down. Let's not turn this down here. Let's turn it down here a bit. Ah, that's good. Right then. Welcome one, welcome all to the Jazz Lounge. Today we're going to be playing some Diablo 4 because I've been playing some Diablo 4 and I wanted to play some Diablo 4 on stream. It is just enough in terms of... what's the word? In terms of turning off my brain levels that I think it's fine. Gonna do a quick check why I've started it slightly earlier. Just a quick check to see how I sound. I sound great. I sound great. 10 out of 10. Well, I don't sound great, but I sound like me. You know. You know what? I'm gonna try one more time just to check. Yep. Cool. Yep. Right. Then. Not much has happened since last week, but if you haven't been here before, the plan is very simple. We're going to chill out, talk about our weeks, talk about what we want to talk about. We're going to play a game that generally our games are quite chill. And we're going to listen to some jazz. Why? Because I like jazz. Cue the B-movie thing that's probably like blimmin' 10 years old now. But I like jazz. So why not? Let's see if this captures. In fact, I can see before you guys see it. Professional streamer here can see what is going to appear before you guys can see it. And then I can make it not automatically do that and choose a specific window. Say the window that's called Diablo. And it does it. Nice. Bam, 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 bam. And then I turn off studio mode and I can see everything. So this is my guy. He's called Lazotep. Reason why I called him Lazotep? Same reason I call all my characters in every RPG and every D&D encounter I go into. He's called Lazotep because Lazotep's a cool name. That's it. I'm going to make myself slightly bigger because I don't have anyone with me today. Called Lazotep because I like the name Lazotep and I took it from a Magic the Gathering card. That's it. Cool. Load of things that you need to know about me. One, I'm British, so as one of my tags says, so I do like to take other people's ideas and make it, you can't see my bunny ears here, but make it better. Whereas normally that means just making it less spicy a lot of the time. So I took Lazotep, which was what they called the zombies that they encased in metal in one of the Magic the Gathering expansions. And I decided, perfect, that'll be my name. Now if this gets in, great. If this doesn't work, I don't know, play some Hearthstone, play some, maybe a different non-Blizzard product. Your guess is as good as mine. Right. What was I doing here? Quick check to see what I was doing before I do anything. I was making my way towards this. Okay, so let's talk about what happened last week. First off, Monday. I believe I played some Helldivers. Cool game. Love that game. every time I play it, I regret playing it on stream though. Mainly for the Jazz Lounge stuff, but can I not go in here? Damn, okay. I don't know how I get to here then. Maybe there's something in this room? I'll try going lower to see if there's anything else on this map. But every time I play it on stream, I regret it. Not because it's a bad game, it's a very, very good game. It's one of my sort of... I've realised it's one of my new pleasures in terms of game genres recently. Stuff like Dark Tide, stuff like that, where it's like you as a group working together to beat a large scale like NPCs. No. How did you stun me? I don't know if that was a human or not, but he stunned me and so he had to be killed. Yeah, I think it's one of... Okay, so I probably come from here, but I just immediately saw that this is here. So I'm gonna go do that. In fact, just so I don't forget. But yeah, I realized that game is possibly one of those games that I probably shouldn't play on stream just because I don't think I can relax and talk about stuff while playing it. I don't think I've got the mental processing to play it and also talk and also interact with the chat, which at the end of the day, that's the whole point of... I'd understand it if I was playing that on like a maybe like a Friday stream or or maybe a Wednesday stream or maybe a surprise stream. But as I'm playing it on what is supposed to be the chill stream, I don't think I should be playing that one. I did have a lot of fun playing it. It's always fun when there's someone in the chat to talk to. Anyways, I must find and give a proper rest. Got it. I'll help you. What do you need? What do you need? Over here. Got it. I'm on my way. Stay with me tonight. My singing voice is bad. Stay with me tonight. I don't even know if it comes through. Also, I'm playing on a slightly harder world tier than I think you're supposed to, especially for a noob like me. That's not me bragging, that's me making sure that when you see me die on like a basic enemy, just because they jump me with more than the average group has, there's a reasoning behind it, even if it's slim. I tell you what, as soon as we're in a place that I know is safe, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of my ability. If any of you have played Diablo 4, like at all, and you've played a druid, you'd know exactly what I'm doing here. I've not done anything particularly like fancy or like unique. Oh, I take control. I use this mechanic that nobody knows about. It's not that kind of thing. It's just that I'll give you a thorough explanation about it. I've just aggroed more people for no reason. Die, zombies that have a bit of flesh on... Skeletons that have a bit of flesh on them. So yeah, it was fun, but I got a bit frustrated in myself for just not really being up to snuff when it came to... What is here? It's a... Oh, hello. How are you doing? Got a bit annoyed with myself with the Helldivers last... Okay. Have fun. Got annoyed with the Helldivers last stream because I just felt like I wasn't giving 100% because, you know, I just don't think I've got the mental process, as I said before, to play it and to talk at the same time. I need something properly casual for those ones. And I know that's a pretty bad thing to be saying when literally I'm streaming, where it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm very good at multitasking, talking and playing a game. But, you know, there's levels to this stuff. And maybe I need to build myself up to something like that. I don't think we're going to get to a safe place for me to talk about my builds anytime soon, I'll be honest. You know, for these quite obvious mage characters, they've got a surprising amount of health. What am I looking for here? A bracelet. Do you have a bracelet on? You know what? It's probably on this body. It's not. I wonder who the mother is in this context. Anyway, yeah, I played a bit of that. I was a bit disappointed in myself after the fact. But overall, like, I say disappointed, but it's very much the feeling that I have in, like, I hate to always bring up D&D because I do bring it up a lot, but it's the kind of feeling that I get with in D&D when a session has not been the best session. I still have a ton of fun with it. I'm just like, damn, I could have done X or Y, or damn, I could have I wish something like this would have happened and I'm a bit annoyed that it didn't, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, where it's like, I had fun, but then I can't. I'm one of those people that I say one of those people, I think everyone does this, where it's like, I've had fun, but this bit could have been, I could have done better, you know? You guys, I completely forgot there if I got that off that Herald, or if I got it off, if I got it off a Herald, or I got it off of, finding a body. I think I got it off a body. Good to know for the next one, which I need to get a bracelet. Got it. Fuck your provisions. So yeah, played a bit of that. That was fun. I had a lot of fun doing just in general streaming. And I had somebody in the chat at that point, so it was really fun to just talk back and forth with somebody. It's a completely different experience. Then Tuesday, not much happened. As I said, it's not been a particularly eventful week for me. I did start the process of, like, I really need to figure out how to improve my mic quality. But it's just in a situation where it's like, how do I improve it without doing the obvious thing, which is to buy myself a mic that is of better quality? You know, it's... Ooh, thought it'd been a charge remains. Because at the end of the day, at the moment, I don't want to be spending a lot of money, and you know, the big microphones are expensive in some variety. So, you know, going through settings and stuff was mostly what I was doing. Wednesday was really fun. We effectively finished all of the preparatory stuff for the final act. Which, I mean, it may be completely useless, and I've actually done all the side quests that you can still do when you're in Act 2. I've got no idea, but it was fun to do that kind of stuff. I liked the idea of, and funny enough, I was watching a channel that talked about Warhammer, and somebody mentioned this scene in the casual chat, but there's a scene in the game for people who haven't seen it where you have to get a certificate for one of your people that allows them to effectively for you to be their sponsor in terms of, like, trading. So you give them your sponsor, and it means they get a lot more like authority, and people give them a lot more respect when they're trading stuff. And one of their companion quests is to get that for them. And one of the quests, it's hilarious because it comes just after the fact that, just after you go to normally you're fighting all of these creatures, you know, you're fighting demons, you're fighting cultists, you're fighting aliens, you're fighting, you know, huge beasts. And then this one was just like, it was effectively one of those ones where it's like, how far will you go morally so that you're not inconvenienced? Like, it was a situation where you could do all of these like pretty bad things that I would argue are like something you shouldn't really do as a nice person if all that's happening is that you're just being mildly inconvenienced. So it's like people will tell you their sob stories, and you can just effectively, for some of them, just fob them off by like your authority. You're able to just go, actually, I with my authority can just solve the problem, and then could you just give me your seat in the queue, right? So a couple of them are really obvious where it's like, hey, I want to marry this commoner, but I'm a noble. My father was really against it, but I want to do it. And one of the options kind of felt like it was the best of both worlds, because it was just like, okay, well, I'll make her a noble, and then you guys can be fine. Like, not give them any power, but make them technically nobility. And so, that there was something like that, but then there were some that were just like straight up horrible. Like this person who's like, I'm trying to save my daughter who was wrongly accused. And the thing is, we know she's been wrongly accused. It's not ambiguous that she's been wrongly accused. They've already said that she, like, the judge has already said that they've been wrongly accused and she shouldn't be in this blimmin' work camp. And then he goes into more detail and goes, yeah, not only is she in a work camp where they're constantly made to mine over and over again, but she also has, they're in a mining camp specifically, and she also has asthma. So she's got bad lungs. And it's like, you can lie to this guy and get him to leave and give you your place. Like, you can do effectively horrendous thing for what is a minor inconvenience for you, right? And I didn't go for it, but I love that the difference in that one compared to all the other sort of like quests, which a lot of the time I just beat somebody up. So yeah, it was funny to see people talking about it. But yeah, that was quite fun. Got rid of some of the quests that I was a bit worried, because I thought that maybe I had missed my chance to do them because of some advancing of the actual overarching story. So it was good to see I can do all of those. I do think that I maybe over leveled, but I've talked about that too much, so I won't go into detail about that. But that was my Wednesday. Wednesday was really fun. I mean, frankly, it's always going to be extra fun when there's somebody in the chat to talk to. You know, it's a different experience because you're in a situation there when it stops becoming you just talking to the void, and it starts becoming you talking to somebody. You know, it's huge. And so when that kind of stuff happens, I'm always going to be really happy. And that I was lucky enough to have that in 2 of my streams this last week, so I am happy about that. What was that? A malevolent... What is this relic? It's probably nothing. Oh, he just disappeared. Oh no, he's over there. Why is he over there? Oh, because he has the teleport spell. Cool. I'm an idiot. I've not been reading the side quest. I'm sorry if people were coming into this wanting to actually care about those kinds of things, because I'll be honest, I don't really. It's not what I'm here for. I mean, I care about the main story, and but the side stories kind of just blur together in my mind. Overseer of the Steppes. Oh, they also call it the Steppes. Is that a common thing? Because I saw that in Final Fantasy XIV, they call the vaguely Mongolian pet area the Steppes. Is the logic there that like a steppe? Because I know a steppe is a type of area. Is just a steppe just the kind of area that you would have these kinds of things? Whenever you can fortify your earth skills, I don't care about that. I don't use earth skills. Although the hat's really cool. I still might use that hat at some point. This really, it weakens my spread by a decent amount, but I've been using that for so long, and just the extra power. Like, it says increases by 30%. And my thinking here is 10% of that is like 17. So 30, let's say 30%. So it would be like 17 times 3. 17 times 3. Oh no, that's still better. Oh no, because this one's yeah, no, I have to keep that for now. It has to be to a point where the attack damage base is just more. That's my thinking at the very least. Where is the other relic? I also don't think I should be getting you these relics, but at the end of the day, I'm doing it still. As long as it's near, I can get you some stuff. Yeah, sure. Where? It's there? No, that's a different quest. Let me have a look at my quest. It's there. Okay. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna go for that, mate. I think I'm gonna go here. Sorry. Bam 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 ba dam bam 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 bam. But yeah, that's all I really did. In terms of Wednesday. I mean, I'll be honest. Most days when I'm streaming, there's not really much other than streaming that is actually done. In terms of big things that I did this week, on Saturday, I played some of that game that people are playing a load of, Content Warning. One, realised that my mic, without all of the settings, like my mic doesn't sound great right now, right? It's, you know, compared to what some of the high quality, or some of the basic streamers have, right? But I realized that it would be even worse if you take off all the like filters and I guess filters is the wrong word. If you take off the all the like little things that I've done to make it so it's a cleaner voice. And the thing is, I haven't done a metric ton, but seriously, if you get rid of them, because they do that when I'm a lot of that stuff is Streamlabs or Discord, and so when I was using the Content Warning mic, it is heaven and earth compared to what I sound like now, and I don't sound great now. So yeah, it was a bit jarring, honestly. Do I go here and do this quest, or do I go up here? I think this could be an area that I could sort of rest at. So getting that seems like it's a priority, even if I don't do the main quest, you know. Yeah, it's a rest place. Right, now that I'm here, let me talk about my quote-unquote build. So, first things first, I started off, immediately took Claw, which effectively is my basic attack. I turn into a werewolf, I do a Claw attack. As you can see, it generates Spirit, which is just my resource. You're probably going to have that with almost every class. Does a bit of damage, And then I had these modifiers on, so I increased its attack speed because it was just a general enhancement that seemed like it was perfect to take. And then I also just added a bit of poison onto it. Now, this is what started my build of just taking poison stuff. Because then, apparently, one of the ways you can go with the wolf is heavy poison. But then Shred came around, which is just shapeshift into a werewolf. This one costs spirit, and the first attack is a dash. The second attack is just a basic damage attack. And then the third attack is this big sweeping attack that hits everybody in like a cone. I immediately took the bonus to it, which allows me to heal from it, which gives me a bit more of like a lifesteal thing that keeps me in the battle for longer. And then you add on that the Shred, now the AoE from it, which AoE was a bit of a problem for me in these games where there's a lot of weak stuff. That's not good, right? You want some AoE. You have the AoE that comes from the third attack even larger, and you add some more poisoning to it. So as you see now, 2 of my attacks do poison. Next you take this, the Blood Howl. As you can see, I've just taken all the werewolf skills, if I'm being honest. That's why I said it's not really a build, quote unquote. You know, not what generally people would consider a build. So next I took this. It costs nothing. It generates spirit, which I think is actually something, yeah, I took a bonus to make it generate spirit. And what it does is it just heals me. It heals me for a percentage of my maximum life. And then I immediately took kills reducing it by a second, and also I realized that I was quite resource, I was using a lot of my resources just with the Shred, and so I just took the one that gave me extra spirit. Finally, this was the companion skill one, and initially I was like, well, perfect, I'll take the Poison Creeper, right? Does poison damage every so often, you know, every 7 seconds, there's some poisoning, and then the active immobilizes them and poisons them some more. Seems perfect. But I looked at it and I was like, this is good, but I think what I was lacking was more. I got my AoE down, but I wanted more single target. And so I took Ravens instead, because Ravens gave me this interesting thing where I could put down a swarm. And it seems like an AoE, but I looked at its bonuses and this one really got to me. Adding vulnerability seemed like it was perfect for just dealing that damage to a boss, plus having the damage over time also have vulnerability on it, and just, you know, I felt like that was the way to go. I don't think about these things a lot, but that one I did think about. Then I went and just did the werewolf thing again. This one's called Rabies, and effectively it's a poison attack, but it spreads. It spreads to people around them. And so I took this immediately because it seemed like a decent thing to have. Because poison, I said I was going poison, so I may as well take poison. And then I took the poison damage, also increases over the lifetime of the disease, just more and more damage. Plus I feel like at this point I realized that I probably should just take these bonuses whenever possible. And then I just took Rabies spreading more faster because I didn't really care about like the extended reach of it. Then this is the big kind of, it's like an ultimate, but it's not an ultimate. You disappear. Well, you don't disappear, you become immune, but you effectively disappear. Do a load of slashes around you, and then I was like, I want heals on. I just want to take these, really. Like this one, I don't even know if it's that good, but I just wanted to take these. As you can see, I've effectively just beelined all of the wolf ones. This one, every 6th attack is a critical strike. I don't have any bonuses around that kind of stuff. I've just picked that. A part of me is like, oh, maybe I should have taken a bit of both and gone quick shift and switched between them, but I don't know. I'm not playing this to be incredibly like optimal builds. I'm playing this just for fun. I'm trying to figure out what I should do here. Should I do this or this? You know, that feels fun. Gather cores. That feels cool. I think I'll do main quest. Why not? Hey, Lorath, what's up? Do you speak for the trees? No, that's the Lorax. Never mind. That's a horrendous joke, so I'm just going to stop that. Good of you to come. Okay. Pity you didn't bring an... Why would I bring an army? Behind the walls, the gate's bar behind him. We can't get through. Oh, we've got to storm the blimmin' place. Is that what he's saying? How many messages did I send her? How long? There's somebody in there? I love the fact that he uses a blimmin' glaive or whatever. Not a glaive. A naginata? Kind of a... I don't know what you'd call it. Useful years ago, true, but it's clear that some other reason to seek this Oyun. Probably riches, let's be honest. Okay. You're the blimmin' Malice Darkblade of this group. We're supposed to meet there, but I couldn't get close. Okay, don't worry. I can turn into a wolf, so I'll turn into a wolf and I'll try and follow them. Ignore the obvious wolf pelt I have on. I didn't kill a wolf to get this. It willingly gave me its skin. It definitely willingly gave me its skin. Now, I'm not sure if I was supposed to talk to a guy that was really near this exit, or whether I was supposed to do this. Am I... No, this is down here. It says find Market Square. This feels like the place for the Market Square. What are you? You're dead, that's what you are. Hey, dude. So yeah, anyway, back to what I was talking about. I'm gonna skip the day-to-day stuff because there's not much that's happened. There was content warning. Great game. It's gonna be another, in my opinion, and I don't want, this isn't to try and discredit the person who made it. It very much, because they've made it knowing this is what it's gonna become. It's the game that streamers are playing, right? It's the streamer game, and I feel like it's going to live and die by whether streamers are playing it. So it probably means it's going to get this huge boost in people playing it now, and then it's going to very quickly peter out as, you know, a new game comes up. Like effectively, it's got the Among Us thing. That as long as there's people playing it, it'll be as long as people are playing specifically streamers are playing it, then it'll do well. And as soon as they find something new to deal with, say like an Among Us or like a Lethal Company kind of thing, people will very quickly realize that it is quite bare bones in terms of what it gives you. Not to say it's a bad game, don't get me wrong. It is, but it is quite bare bones. God, that jumping. Die. Yeah, you can see this. I feel like if I had this on a slightly lower world tier, I would just be destroying these guys. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I have no complaints about the actual game. I mean, it's relatively cheap as well, which is definitely one of the things that gets me with games. Like, it'll put me off buying a game if it's like, even if it's like, I'm not talking like AAA levels where it's like a huge number. I'm talking if it's just, if the game is pretty expensive, then I'll be put off playing it, like giving it a shot, right? Because I don't have infinite money. These blimmin' executioners, the fact that they drop down, blimmin' annoying, I'll tell you that much. Come on, do your jump. Yeah! Take my rabies. So yeah, that game was fun. There was a decent amount of cool, funny stuff that happened, like meeting some of the inhabitants of the underground area. The blooming ghost with a knife, that's so funny. Like meeting like the whisk creature, you know, like all that kind of stuff. It's really fun, don't get me wrong. As like all the games I mentioned before are fun to play. I just think that when you look at the game's like sort of like the quality of the game's like interface, all of the stuff around it, the, you know, stuff like that, it doesn't scream, I'm not gonna say AAA, I'm talking just like, it doesn't really scream like, it screams game that's not fully finished. You know, it's, and it might not be, it might be in beta and I could be completely wrong, but it's definitely one of those ones that you know that it wouldn't be like raved about if it wasn't being played by streamers. But I mean, knowing your audience, making a game for that, like you can't knock somebody for doing that. So I can't get at them for it. It's just, God, these two names, at least in my brain, they were so similar. Let's do a little jump over here. I don't know if we're supposed to be doing Assassin's Creed jumps over this blooming house, but kind of fun. I've realised that they've obviously taken from blooming, I think the game that I saw that did this was Lost Ark. I had to literally move a bit further down that blooming area. But yeah, the game I saw that did this the most was Lost Ark, but the idea of like, and I could be wrong, there's a while since I played Diablo 3. The idea of like, oh yeah, you can't really do any of the jumping unless you land on these specific areas, then your guy does a special thing. Like that's the kind of, I think that kind of thing's in Lost Ark, and I don't think it was in the third game. So they've obviously looked into, they've obviously looked at some of their competitors and taken some influence from them. A Yoon? Have you heard of a Yoon? Cannibals? Why are there cannibals in here? I didn't realize they were cannibals. I just assumed they were bandits. Got it. I'll go kill them, I think. I don't remember what you said. Like stuff like this. I think they've taken some influence from games like Lost Ark and stuff. Oh yeah, the only other big thing that I've done is I played some. I didn't play. Sorry, I watched some. I've only watched the first night, so no spoilers when it comes to this. But well, no spoilers for the second night. I watched WrestleMania, which has been really, really. I was hyped for it already because it's WrestleMania. You know, you're always gonna. Oh no! Oh, there's my get out of jail free card. Bloody love it. Yeah, you like birds? We'll take my ravens. Yeah, it's the future they can see, you know. So yeah, I was watching some WrestleMania Night 1, and I'm a big blimmin' wrestling fan. Always have been. But this one seems to have at least gone into the public. The public sort of eye, mainly I imagine because of The Rock being in it. and how big he is. Like, isn't he like the #1 on Instagram or something? Something like that. Either way, he's like, him being there has properly brought it into the public eye, and so it's been a lot more hype than any of the other ones. Also, it's one of the, you know, it's the big 4-0, which is always going to be, it's always going to be a big one when it's any of like the tens months, you know. I can only imagine what WrestleMania 50 will be like. But yeah, I've watched the first night, and it was interesting because it starts off, and I think that in a way they booked this perfectly, because what they did was if this was like the GM mode, or like I was booking this in my head, I'd be like, this is exactly how I'd book it, right? It was put the big match at the start to get everyone hyped and into it, and then you put then you put like another great match as the secondary one, so people are like, oh, it's not just a one-time thing. They haven't put all of their eggs into the basket of the first one to get people into it. They haven't done what I like to call a divinity move, because it's like Divinity Original Sin, where they front-loaded everything at the start, and then the rest of the game is significantly lower quality by comparison. So it's not like they haven't done that, because the second one's also very, very good. And then you put like your weakest matches in the middling bit. The third match and the fourth match, they're okay. They're nothing to... You wouldn't say they were bad, but you wouldn't say they were good. You know, they're the 3s out of 10. They're 3s out of 5. You know, 2.5 out of 5. 5 out of 10. That kind of level. Hardest opponent I've ever dealt with, the blooming Barricade. And then you ended off with a match that is blimmin'. You when people are starting to get like not as much into it, you're like, okay, well then I'll end it with the last 2 matches being absolute incredible ones, like 5 out of 5s, 10, you know, like 5-star. And that's what they did. The first one, which was the women's match, it could have been better, but it was a very, very good match. And the entrances, for both of them, honestly, but Rhea Ripley's one was especially very, very good. I'm not a particular metalhead, you know, I'm not into metal music or like that kind of music, but it fits her so well, and her getting it played live by the band that I'm assuming has like just sings it, is incredible. Like, it felt like that is her song, not like, oh, this is just a theme song that they've been given to her and like that's it, it's cool music but that's about it. No, it felt like it was hers, that was made for her, and it wasn't. They'd just taken the music and, you know, bought the rights for it. But yeah, it was incredible. And then Becky Lynch it was all about her book that had just come out, and it was all of her, like, the fact that it started off with all these inspirational phrases that are from her book, and there was this giant book that was there that was like showing, like, turning to the pages of her, like, her bits in there. Like, it was like, it'd be like, it would say an Oh, this is sad. Oh god, this is horrendous. They're not doing well here. But yeah, it would be like, it would turn to like the book that was like a 3D image that they'd put in the sky, was like, it would turn to a page and it would read out an excerpt about her life, and you know, it was really like properly inspirational. I think people were a bit down on her entrance because of how good Rhea Ripley's one was, but hers was incredible as well. And then you had their outfits. Like Rhea had this she had done her hair differently, and she had this this eyeshadow on that was incredible. Like, she looked absolutely incredible, and they filmed it in with these cameras that I don't think they've ever used before, because it looked properly good quality. Like, I'm talking like, this is insane. Like, it was properly good. And so that happened, and then Becky came out, and she looked, I mean, her hair and everything and the makeup looked great, but her outfit, like Rhea's was generally, it was good because it always looks good, but it's here, isn't it? I've already found it, don't worry about it. Yeah, I could break through. I'm a giant werewolf. But her, like, what wasn't brought up was just like the outfit she was wearing. You know, it really suits her, but it wasn't too different than the norm. It didn't feel as special as maybe like her makeup and the hair and the performance made it look, right? So, but when you compared it to Becky's was like properly good quality, because hers was her book. He dressed as her book, so she was in all red, that is sort of like her color, but in addition to that, she added in, she had like a sort of cape on her. She had sort of like the waistline bit, it was just written bits of her book, like excerpts from her book. Hey, that's not fair. Why do you keep weakening me? How do you keep doing that? Why do you do so much damage? Die. Okay. But it'd be like excerpts from a book, like written on her, and it's like mostly black and white, and it was honestly pretty fucking incredible. So yeah, like the actual match itself could have been better. Like, it wasn't an absolute instant banger. Like, you weren't like, this is, you know, gonna go down in like as one of the all-time great. But it did feel very much like a passing of the torch, in the sense that obviously with wrestling, there was this group, I think around the 2010s sort of time, where it was, you know, stuff related to the women's wrestling was becoming much bigger thing, because initially before then it was kind of just, it's kind of wasn't a thing in WWE women's wrestling. It was kind of that they would take the role of, like, it's gonna sound bad, but effectively in wrestling it was so masculine, and like, you know, when you think of like the biggest names from wrestling, you think of like Macho Man, and which is literally, his name has got the word macho in it, and like Hulk Hogan, and so, who was again the embodiment of, you know, what people think of when they think of like macho people, right? And then in the 2010s came along this sort of like, they called them the Four Horsemen, which was a reference to obviously the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, but also to a male like group that were like the big names of that time. And it was a I guess it was called the Four Horse Women, I think they call it a lot. And there's these four great wrestlers that effectively pioneered the modern WWE women's sort of like wrestling. And one of them happens to be Becky Lynch. And so at this point in time, she has fought did win the belt, Rhea Ripley, from another member of the Four Horsemen, from Charlotte Flair. But for me, this felt very much like a... Before, it was just like, well, you know, it's a belt, it has to be passed around. So you winning against them, it's not a big thing. But beating two of them in back-to-back WrestleManias felt very much like it was a passing of the torch of like, I'm nearing the end of my career, and you still have a lot of time left on it. You know, you've got a solid 10 to 15 years of you being good condition. And so this is sort of the passing of the torch of like, you will be one of the people that are pioneering the next generation of women's wrestling. And so I found that the sort of like the significance of that to be like pretty big, in my opinion. But the match itself, apparently Becky Lynch just before WrestleMania, the past week before WrestleMania, she had like a pretty high fever. Like it's hard to tell how high the fever was, because when they were talking about on like news channels, they were talking about the temperature that fevers were. They would always talk about them in American, and so it'd be like blimmin' 100 and something, right? So, you know, it was one of those things. Oh, this is quite nice. Sorry. Oh, look at that. They need your help in getting into the palace. I do indeed. I'll escape tunnel, entrance in the caverns behind an alcove marked with the Overseer's Cross. Got it. Hopefully they haven't found that place and there's just a bunch of beasts there. I wish you well. Two sabers join at the hilt. Press the... Fuck, I immediately... Is it left? I hope that said left. I read left. Good luck. Stay away from the cannibals. There's a lot of cannibals around there. And undead. And demons. And just bandits. You know, everything really. And parasites. And beasts. Oh, he took the merchants. I mean, it's thief in the heart. No, I've seen the correction in the future darkness, and it as it has. Ah, maybe I was wrong. Okay. I mean, I'm probably generally going to be 50-50 in terms of like whether I'm a good or bad influence. I imagine I'm just going to be not good or bad, but maybe just different. Anyway, that one, it wasn't the best match because she obviously wasn't feeling her best, but it was still a decent match. People who said it was a bad match are just lying to themselves, in my opinion. There was lots of good moves to it. I thought it had a pretty decent pace to it. And I think it was generally quite a good match. Like, I'd still put that as a good match. You know, people were like, transfer skills gain 15%. That's not bad. I consider doing that one at some point. Like, people were calling it a bad match. I still call it a 4 to... Even without the cultural significance, it's probably like... Without the cultural significance of it, I'd put it like a 3.5 out of... A 3.5 out of, like, 5. With the cultural significance of the actual match and how it... At the end of the day, it was like a passing of the torch a moment. I would take it up to around a 4 to a 4.5. And I think that's fair. Then there was the ladder match. And the ladder match was quite interesting. I thought it was like really, really, really good. Because you were always going into it and the fan favourites were always going to be R-Truth and... I wonder why it just connected me to the chat room again. I hope that's not a problem. Well, I'm not getting any notifications about it, so it's probably fine. Kind of a bit scared of all these things, but I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it. Get me out of it. I don't want to be in it. I also don't want to use my heal. I use this heal instead. Haha. Anyway, it was really fun. Like, there was loads of spots, and they were decently quick at setting up stuff as well. I think that's the thing that I didn't understand how big of an importance was. But you have it a lot in matches like this, in ladder matches, and especially matches with a lot of people, where it very much feels like half of the match is you just setting up the spot, for setting up all the tables, setting up X and Y, and making it somehow feel realistic to set up a table and then just sort of leave. Because realistically, is there anyone who's going to be like, let's just set up this ladder up and then just not do anything with it immediately? Feels a bit weird, right? And so seeing it done and actually doing it, in my opinion, very cleanly, and like without it being stupidly obvious that they were doing X or doing Y, I thought they did quite well in that. So yeah, that was quite fun. And then the spots were great. They had a lot of... I pressed the wrong button. I just immediately went back into the thing. That's a Nurgle demon. That's a blooming Great Unclean One guy. I mean, I'm saying that, and like, I'm saying it's kind of a joke because it's just a disease-ridden thing. But honestly, it wouldn't be bad as like if you had that model and you used it as a conversion for a Great Unclean One. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That looks great. Anyway, let's do a quick check to see if any of these are upgrades. Are you an upgrade? What am I on? Yeah, you are. I'm gonna wait until I hit max level to actually care about the specifics of what each of the things give me. You know, it's like, at the end of the day, that stuff feels like it's a lot more important once you... I feel like you consolidate your build once you hit that level. What does this do? Fortify. I kind of want this as a transmog, so that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, the ladder match was really good, and it's because they had a lot of very experienced people in there. You had like R-Truth and R-Truth and The Miz, who are veterans of that business, literally. Like, they're legends, and they've been in it for like forever now. R-Truth is like 50, and he's been like a constant good part of... I would say he's going to be a constant, like, very important part of the WWE, but he's been solid for all of that, for like for those, like, I'd say like upwards of maybe 20 to... I don't know, maybe like 20 to... Maybe about 20 years, maybe 25 years. I think he would have started around early 20s, so maybe closer to like 28 years. But he was the going in as like he had a resurgence, actually. It's funny, both of them, they've been in the company for so long, and they have been, with especially people like The Miz, they have been like in main events and like been big parts of like event, like WrestleManias before. But they very much went into this like as the proper favorites, and also like as people that kind of really haven't had that big moment in a WrestleMania. They've been a part of them, but they've never been the main attraction. Oh, I'm being attacked. If you know what I mean. It's like they've always been like secondary. Like the last time the Miz was in a big main event, it was the one, the timeline The Rock came back, but again, you know, it's so everybody obviously was looking at The Rock and not blimmin' The Miz, who, you know, I don't think if I talked to an average person and said name a wrestler, they'd ever say The Miz. So yeah, like they had those two veterans of the business. They had the Finn Balor and Damian Priest that are doing some of the best work they've ever done in WWE. Definitely for Damian Priest. You can make an argument for Finn Balor as well. You can definitely, and they are incredibly experienced. Well, Finn is incredibly experienced already, and Damian Priest is a very, 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 very good wrestler for the amount of experience he has, and as I said before, is on one of, if not the best stuff he's done with this new with the faction, the Judgment Day. Wait, he died? Did I mess up? Die, die, die. Die, 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 die. So this pot turned him into an evil person? Good to know. Hey, you sure you should be taking these? Doesn't feel good hiring my people, losing them, but you have a promise, one less relic. Okay. Where's the last one? Under the ruins of this place? I mean, I'll only do ones that are in the area. Is this the mission you were talking about? Sure, I'll do that. And so yeah, it was, you had those two doing their, like, an experienced wrestler and a one who's like at the peak of like doing the best work they've been doing in a while. Then you've got DIY, who again are like these two incredibly well experienced people that haven't really gotten their footing in WWE, the main roster, very well, but are still incredibly experienced, very, very good wrestlers. I don't think anyone came into it thinking that they were actually going to win anything, though, which is mean to say, but it's true for a couple of these people. Like, for example, the New Day, which is the name of their group, and they are like one of the most illustrious tag teams of at least the modern era. They're probably top two in all time. They're probably like maybe top three. And so it's in a situation where like they're also going to be great, and then you got the New Cats Republic, which again are additionally veterans, and then you got A-Town Down Under, which they're okay, they're nothing to really talk about, but like the amount of amount of veterans you've got in there, it's insane. Like the levels of experience you have in this group. It's probably one of, if not the most experienced, like tag team group, large group that you've ever seen on a roster for a match. Like, and so you knew it was going to be really well, and they did not disappoint. It's one of, I always have this thing with ladder matches, and I sort of hinted at it with what I had previously said, but you always had this point where it's like, okay, there's nothing happening, and they're just setting up stuff for the big thing that's coming. But like until that big thing's coming, you're just sitting here going, "Oh, I guess this is okay. Like, you know, it's not the best, but yeah, I know they have to do it." It doesn't make you hype for it. And so none of it felt like they had sort of figured out the formula behind like making it so that you were, oh look, they're doing X, but while X is doing this, you're not like feeling like, oh, this is boring, because while this guy's setting up, this other dude's doing a fancy move that is keeping your attention. And because of that, there's very little situations where you feel like you're getting bored, which I thought was really good. I think honestly, that would be the one of the ones I would give 5 stars to. That was one of the, I'd say 2. I'd say there's 2 matches that I think are 5-star worthy. One of them is this match. Not necessarily for any form of story elements, although there is story elements there that were pretty decent. But in how they did everything, that there is a lot of things that they did with this specific ladder match that sort of is different than what you'd expect a ladder match to be like. So for people who know ladder matches and know like wrestling in general and watched a lot of them, there's a lot of assumptions that you were like, I assume this. Like a lot of assumptions that you would have that this inevitably didn't do. What is this? Are you an NPC that has like abilities? Okay. Probably fine. What's this do? Light. Did I instantly complete it? No. What about this? Oh, it worked, but it summoned a bunch of believers. Oh, because it made the star. Okay, got ya. Well, I'm glad I guessed it, because I'm horrendous at those things. So yeah, it was very, very good. And there is, as I alluded to, there is some stories there. Oh, he's a demon. May I shed my illusion? I will explain it all until I swear so I mean you no harm, nor anyone else. Okay, good demon. Why not? Sure, I agree with you. I'll allow it. Yeah, that makes sense. Your axe is a very weird axe that I don't understand. Is it a blunt forced weapon? Is that what it's supposed to be? You coming with us? No? Okay. I guess I'll go on my own now that I know you're a demon. But yeah, that one was really, really good. Because the story into it was that the Judgment Day, who Damian Priest and Finn Balor they had what is called like the United tag team belt. I think it's called some of like loads of fancy words, but effectively it was just they had both of the brands tag belts, and this match was done in a way where you could win one of them, and you could then win and someone else could win the other. So that they were on this, they were suspended high up, and because it was a ladder match, the whole point is that you're supposed to climb up the ladder, unhook the belts, and then you've got the belt. Like, that's how you win. But obviously there's like 6 teams in this, and you know that means there's like 12 people potentially there's like 10 people trying to stop you and your friend from getting it. And so it was very interesting because people who are veterans of it assume that like it's going to be very quick succession. So you're in a situation where most of the veterans are like, oh well, what always happens is very quickly they do all the fun stuff, and then very quickly they get the ladder thing, and then they're done. That's it, right? Well, what actually they did, which is very rare, is somebody got one of the belts, and then it took a while before they actually even the other person got close to getting the second belt. And so it very much gave it a different feel than you normally expect. So I was quite interested about that. And then obviously the person going into this was the biggest thing was, as I said, R-Truth and the Miz, because they had just been harassing them, and also people were really getting behind R-Truth at like more than they really have in a while, because he was just funny. Like, his whole shtick was that he doesn't really understand what's happening a lot of the time, and so like he'll come to one event and be like, okay, I'm here for Money in the Bank, and it's like, this isn't Money in the Bank, this is blimmin' WrestleMania. Or like it'll be in a situation where it's a match where you're supposed to, for example, in this match, there was a situation where obviously the way you win is you climb up and you get the belt, right? But he didn't understand that, and so what he did was he thought it was a tag match, so he was waiting on the sidelines, getting ready to be tagged by his partner, and then he went to pin somebody and pinned them, and this shows how over he was. He did that. Everyone was hyped for him to get the hot tag, and then when he pinned them, everybody was counting with him, going 1, 2, 3, and then celebrated as if he had won. Then, because he was just really fun, and so like he was getting really hot, and so everyone knew he was gonna get it, but everyone was a bit iffy on like who's gonna get the other one. And honestly, I think it went well. I think they got it to two people that would make sense. They got one babyface, which is the good guy, and one heel, which is the villain, and they one on each of the sides, so they can, you know, pit people against them, and you know, they've got an enemy for the heels, the enemy for the baby faces to fight. They've also got a villain for the babyface. They've also got like a babyface for the villains to fight, you know. So yeah, it was a situation where I was like, okay, this is done very, very well. I cannot say anything bad about that, and that's why I put it up there. Also, the spots were incredible. Things I've never seen before people do. Next match was the... I'm sorry if I'm being obsessive about this stuff, by the way, but I love it. I love wrestling, and this is the biggest wrestling event of literally the year, so you know. And in addition to it being one of the biggest wrestling events of the year, it also is like one of the biggest versions of that ever, because people are actually like, people are getting into it, and it's also an incredibly stacked event. So yeah, next event was it was Rey Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio, and which is his son, and Dominic Mysterio and move to here. Who was it? the leader of I forget what his name is, and that's really annoying because he did a great job there, and literally the whole point of it is that he does not really get recognized very well, and that's his problem. But I just don't remember his name, and I feel horrendous for it. But it was those two, and I mean, there's nothing to. It's a bit iffy, this one. So it starts off really the whole thing is really good. All the action is very, very good. It's like 4 incredibly skilled 4 very, 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 very skilled blimmin' luchadors. So you know that they were going to be great, and you give them time to do their work and all of their double moves and like all of their high flying stuff. And you've got like Rey Mysterio, that's arguably, like, in terms of luchadors, probably the most popular like one of the most popular blimmin' luchadors ever, in terms of like for the wider audience. And so yeah, they're doing incredible work. The problem I have with this match, because if the match didn't have this, I would probably consider it like another 5-star match. For one, I really don't like the ending. I think the ending is wrong, and I think the ending overall, it should have been like, without saying anything, they should have put over one person who is much more likely to get a career out of it than the already established person. Now that might sound like I've told you the result of it, but there are many established people. Rey Mysterio's son is like one of the biggest heels in the business at the moment. Like, when he tries to talk, he is drowned out by boos. He's that good. Playing like the heavily cheating like villain, like not like wily villain that does tricks and stuff, you know. He's incredibly, like, he's high up. So I'm not it could have been either of them, but the ending is very lackluster because WrestleMania is, and they're trying to emphasize this more and more in recent history, not just an American thing. It's a worldwide thing, shown by them doing a lot of like big events not in America. This isn't just one of those things where like it's just American. And so when you have a bit in your ending that relies on you knowing somebody that is only really known in America, it's, in my opinion, a bad decision. And then it kind of made the whole thing a bit lackluster with that ending, and so that very, in my opinion, lowered my enjoyment of the whole thing. Because an ending can make the whole thing feel less satisfying, right? I mean, you just talk to like anybody who is very into the Game of Thrones show, you know, and you'll be in a situation where you've got people who are like, this is fun, but X or Y has really made it bad. Like, the ending of this has really made it bad. And so I'd probably put that one at like, I'd put a solid 4-star, but with a bad ending. So it really let it down. Subscribed, yep. Oh, I didn't even have to remember. Perfect. Let's ignore the Blood River. Blood River's probably not important, right? Voices? Where? Here? Oh! Here. Need more prey. More meat. Once has finished his grand work. What work? Seeds you have sown will bear fruit. Gulwar will be reborn, and so will. Is poised to summon Andariel. Her power will lift us to new heights. And of course, you will have more meat to watch. Okay, so he's a big barbarian that's there as like a guest of honor. So I forget if I think that's the physical torment one, if I had to guess. That feels like that he would fit the physical one. Maker of Anguish. Okay, yes. Like, lesser evil makes it sound like they're bad, but it's comparing them to the prime sins that are like effectively immortal constants in the world. They're like natural disasters, while as the lesser evils are like incredibly powerful demons. Look at this money! It means nothing! These thousands of quid means absolutely nothing. Which makes you kind of wish that they just not have the thousands of quid and instead did something else, but... But yeah, the ending really did it bad. I think next, I could be completely wrong here, but I think the next one was the women's 3-on-3. Generally, it was very short. In fact, like somebody joked that the entrances were longer than the blimmin' thing, but and I wouldn't be surprised if it was close. But it showed off both Bianca Belair, who is this great big name that, like Rhea Ripley, is probably like the best of the newer generations of women's wrestlers. You know, the non-Four Horsemen groups. I'm kind of getting sick of her as like a character. I think her character work needs a bit more stuff to it, which is why I'd probably put her higher up than say like by the way, here's my guess just off the rip. Looking at this map, looks like there's there might be another area further on the other side. I'm guessing maybe we're like, which one is he summoning? My guess is both. Anyway. But yeah, like, it was a very quick, effectively squash match where Damage Control, which is this group that hasn't, a women's only group that's kind of not, they've kind of been treading their water. They've had like championships, but it's never felt like they've had a big story that mattered. The biggest story they're having is that what I'm assuming is going to end in their breakup, because they banished their leader, and now their leader, who won the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, is challenging the person who usurped her for the championship. And I'm pretty sure she's going to win. I haven't seen Night 2, but I'm pretty sure she's going to win. Because she's one of the Four Horsemen that hasn't really had a big WrestleMania moment, so I'm pretty sure she's going to win. So yeah, like, it's been an interesting thing to watch, and that match in general was okay. Like, I'm not gonna rate it particularly highly, probably like a 3. Like, it was, the spots in it were good, but I wouldn't go as far to say it's incredible. I like this little thing, by the way, here, which I'm assuming, like, each of those little spots is, like, the next phase. At least that's what I'm sort of been playing it as. I don't know who this Mother's Judgment is. I thought I'd fight Baal or Baal, but I guess maybe they're saving him. Oh, what happened here? Oh, he might have knocked her over. I mean, you seem strong, but also all you're doing is sending down very lesser, like, things. Doesn't seem very good. Skills deal up to 17% increased damage based on your prime... Ah, not useful. It's a one-handed weapon and I'm using two-handed. For no reason other than it looks cool. Wait, do you reckon he was the king of this place? I'm guessing, maybe? Anyway, the match was okay, the spots were good, but there wasn't too much of like a back and forth with it, and it was very quick, and it wasn't, it was a kind of like a glorified match, like a one-sided sort of what we'd call a squash match, which is just one side just beating up the other side, and it was just showing how good one of the sides is, right? It was, yeah, I won't say, oh, I've effectively spoiled it. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at keeping spoilers, but Chain to the Heart of Gulwar. Yeah, I mean, he was searching for birds, I couldn't give him one, but so we found Lilith. We have what we need as soon as we take place. The Temple of Primes. Oh, that makes sense, the Primevals. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that we're not gonna find a way. Oh, is it literally gonna be a hidden bug case? I thought there would be somewhere here that I needed to explore, but it's probably nothing then. I was wrong. I made a prediction, I was wrong. Oh well. So yeah, it was an okay match, like maybe a 3. Then there was the Jimmy and the Jay match, and that one is probably the worst match of all the matches, if I had to guess. It's being hard because those two are like, they used to be part of a tag team, and they used to be like, they are probably the best tag team of the modern era, and they're definitely top 3 of all time in my opinion. But they just, I don't know if they just didn't get the time, or just were going for something a bit different, but they just didn't. It wasn't a good match. It was just super kick and super kick and super kick and super kick, and then the quite obvious spot of like the evil one of them decides, look, no, I'm sorry, please stop hurting me, and begs, and then just surprise attacks you, and then the hero comes back, and that's it. Like, it wasn't anything of real quality. So the Mephisto Ball, and yeah, they're the Primevals, so the big bads. Best by the Primevals, damn risky. Ooh, fuck, I hope that's not me. Oh, I see, I kind of hope it is me. I kind of wouldn't mind to be blessed by the Primevals, that'd be fun. I wonder if we get to see, because this is happening after Diablo 3. So I wonder if we get to see mortal Angel of Justice guy. I don't know if it was the point, but it always didn't feel like it was a fair fight between evil and good in this. It felt like evil had... It felt like the lesser evils are equivalent to the angelic people, but there was no equivalent for the Primevals on the good side, like the prime goods, which maybe is supposed to be a commentary at like, you can't be prime good, but you can be primeval. His influence has launched every war in history. Never once is he tired of conflict. Sure. Okay, I have to do this. Okay, yeah. I don't really want to get blessed by Diablo, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Ball, sure, Deceit's fine. I think Ball's Deceit. I'm not 100% sure. You reckon this guy's a mage? Or, like, I always assumed he was a druid, but he's not acting like a druid. I mean, using a melee weapon, but also magic is a bit druid-y. I guess. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, yeah, there was it didn't come across well, and I hope they get like another moment to have the main event be them, maybe as a tag team once they get back together, if they do. But as a WrestleMania moment, this was not a good WrestleMania moment. Lord of Terror? I thought it was the Lord of Anger. Always have been. But yeah, it wasn't very good. I think I would honestly give that like a 2 out of 5, maybe a 2.5 if I'm being generous. It was not good. But it was immediately followed by what I'd consider a 5-star match. And honestly, probably the match that I would put as the most likely to get a 5-star out of all the ones I think deserve a 5-star. Which is Sami Zayn versus Gunther. And they very heavily took influence from Rocky in terms of the theming behind it. Because it's literally... It's not an American hero, because I think he's definitely not what people would consider a normal American. For one, he's Canadian. That's probably the biggest thing. But I think... Also, that he's not Christian, so it's not generically what it is, but it's very much like the hero versus the seemingly impossible to beat foreign boss. And they reference a lot about Rocky, and they took a lot from Rocky, but it's effectively the hero story, and I think it went really well. It shows something when people were like, I don't want the villain to lose it. I'm going in. Hacker voice, I'm going in. But yeah, like... Oh, what's this? Good to see you're alive. Oh, is this the thing that goes at me in the cutscene? You spoke with one of them at the shrine. You're Mephisto? I thought you were dead. Seeks to use the power of the primes for his own ends. No one knows their place anymore, do they? Nothing has drawn echoes of the past to my refuge of hatred. But you and I can put things in order. I'll be able to give you my blessing. Oh, sure. I'll beat Gorm. Bring it on. Well, Thol. Time for your death at the hands of me. A better barbarian than you. Although, actually, no, barbarian's literally a class, and I'm not that. But yeah, it's great. If I was gonna say to watch any of them, I'd say watch that one. Even more than the main event, and the main event was insane as a spectacle. Another one I'd consider 5-star, and I'll be honest, I feel like that's the one that most people would, even if you're not a wrestling fan, I'd say watch that one because it's properly good. Properly good. Hey, Mephisto. What's up? I didn't expect Primeval would need Mortal's help. Yeah, so yeah, you did get trapped. Yeah, I'm guessing that was Diablo 3. Why not focus that anger? Do you not want me to repay it with hatred? Do you not want me to give you hatred? Isn't that good? But yeah, like, incredible. Main event. All I need to tell you is, 1, it has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it, and 2, it has the 3 of the biggest names in the whole of WWE at that moment in it, and it's 2v2. The number 1 hero of blimmin' wrestling at the moment, with the number 2 hero of the wrestling at the moment, versus Evil Rock and his cousin, who is the number 1 villain and has held the title for several years now. It is incredible to see these people, like, not in great shape. Even The Rock, who hasn't wrestled in effectively 8 years, but really longer, because the last match he came for was maybe like a 3-minute match, like a really small match. Effectively put on this performance that was absolutely incredible. Let me have a look. A wolf. Yeah, I wanted to look. What am I dealing with? Oh, it's a big temple, big mountain temple. Okay, we can deal with that. Where do I have to need to go? There. I'm not sure I'm gonna have enough time to do this, but I can't not just go and do it. Oh, I got a level up actually. Let's do the level up before I go. What do I want to put it into? Rabies? Do I want to take one of these things? No, I'll take rabies. Yeah, I get poisoned. Us two together, impossible to kill. But yeah, it was an absolute incredible extravaganza. I would just watch that and have a load of fun watching 3 masters of their work and an absolute legend in the industry who, unlike other legends at the age he is, and with the fact that he hasn't wrestled in so long, actually puts on a pretty stellar performance for not wrestling for a long time. Don't get me wrong, it was obvious that they were going light on him. Attacks, bumps that normal wrestlers would take, they would take the easier one for it. So instead of, like, for example, somebody jumping off something, grabbing your head and slamming it on the ground, which they know how to do quite safely and would do on, like, a normal wrestling match, instead they just hit him. They would instead just do like a double fisted drop on the guy, which you'll just hit them with both of your hands while jumping off something. You know, it's much easier bumps, but still, he did incredible to take some of the things. So yeah, I would watch that one, and I keep getting spoiled because obviously YouTube, I watch a lot of wrestling, and so a lot of wrestling stuff is coming on my feed. And I've already been spoiled about a lot of the blimmin' results, and it annoys me, but there's nothing I can do. But it shows something when even my mum, who knows nothing really about wrestling other than the occasional things I mention, knows about Night 2's main event. and the insane stuff that was happening there, because it got to modern news, you know, like not modern, like normal news shows were talking about it. It shows that that one was a proper, like, proper good one. So I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow when I watch it. I might even stay up a bit later today just to watch like some of the event, because I'm that like giddy for it. I mean, I bought the WWE subscription model just for this, and I'm probably gonna cancel it after watching the stuff in this. But I mean, I spent money to watch this stuff because I was this hyped for it. What do I have to fight? Master of Flames. That's not a primeval. Is that all you have? Blimmin' Malash. You're nothing. I didn't even use a potion. I almost died there, probably. But yeah, watching WrestleMania, the night one, live. I also was watching it with, there's this news slash, I guess, podcast, effectively general wrestling YouTube channel I watch, called Cultaholic. I know, weird name, but it's really fun. And watching them talk about it and like live reacting to it as well, and it very much felt, because I don't have any of my friends who are particularly into wrestling, so having them there and feeling like I'm watching it as like a group event, you know, was really fun. I imagine it's what people feel when like the Super Bowl is on, right? It's the equivalent of the Super Bowl for wrestling, or like for people who aren't really American, like something like the World Cup or something, like the World Cup finals, or you know, the big event in that comes around like once a year. So it was really fun also listening to them, who are very experienced in wrestling, talk about what they feel about this stuff and like the good things, the bad things of it, and being pretty brutally honest about the stuff. Obviously, you always got the bias of you're watching it in the moment, but hearing them thinking of my opinion on it, and then hearing the opinion of like this very respected, they would never admit to this, but they are gaming journalists, not gaming, sorry, wrestling journalists. They never admit to it, and they'd be like, they would say, nah, we're not like proper journalists, but they are, and they have a lot of contacts in especially the indie wrestling scene. In fact, back in their old company, they used to literally have their own indie wrestling group. And so it's funny because a couple of these people that have now were the big names that they would get for events. A couple of them are now like the best in WWE. They'd met people like Cody Rhodes back in when he was just going in the indie scene. So it's funny listening to them talk about this stuff and like hearing their opinions and then hearing their live reactions to stuff. Right, I'm gonna try and sync up my watching of the show with their live reaction, even though it's not, you know, not live anymore, to hopefully get a similar effect. It was such a shame. It's one of the reasons I kind of wish I had taken at least today off, so that I could have actually watched it, because it starts at midnight. That's the reason why I didn't watch it live on the second night. Midnight on Sunday is just not possible when I'm actually working the next day, you know? So I kind of wish I had taken, at the very least, a day off, just so that I could continue to watch that. But I'm not very good at you know, planning and thinking ahead. Like if I was thinking ahead, I would have gone like, okay, this week, not only is it a week where I could maybe do some, because it's the school holidays and, you know, the kids are off. My mum, who happens to be a teacher, is also off. And so I could have done some stuff, you know, gone out for some food and something with her on this week, and also then watched WrestleMania live as kind of like the end of the, like as the kind of like the start to my this week off. But I didn't think about that until literally like yesterday. But it was, you know, you can't be, they're quite lenient when it comes to my work, but they're not going to be as lenient to just take, it doesn't feel right to just take the next day off. You know, like go, hey, I know it's literally the next, no longer following me. Oh, okay. I know it's literally like incredibly last minute, but can I, stay to the shadows? You sure? Okay. This is a mausoleum I'm climbing down. But yeah, I don't know. I'm in a situation where I was like, it's a shame I didn't do that. Because it is going to be a lesser experience now. Are they doing like trepanning or like mummification? Interesting. Is that floating blood? Oh, they're doing like a ritual. Like this is a tattooing. Oh, she gonna open her eyes and be evil? Evil demon eyes, am I guessing? I mean, look at that blimmin' statue. Traitor King Wall. Oh, is that the guy? You could have cut your hand. Oh, I guess maybe that wouldn't have been good enough. I don't know. I guess that is a lot of blood. What is happening? That's not going to help. That's more blood. You dingus. You've just done the final act of literally saving, summoning the guy. Right? Or is it going to be like a half summoning, hopefully? Oh no, it did work. It stopped it. That's insane. I didn't think that would happen. Let me deal with this blimmin' killer. Oh. No, no, you die. Oh no. So you have a bunch of your whole army became blimmin' cannibals? Is that what I'm getting from this? Okay, so I'm not dodging any of their attacks, but I think I've gotten to the point in this where it doesn't matter that I'm not dodging all their attacks. I dodged that attack. Make myself immune, get all of the curse on them. All the like the little passive healing is not bad. I think I've got like a little bit of an absorption shield on like the next attack that I take after I use a potion, which is kind of cool. Saying this, but I'm not sure that this 100% is true. Yes, you're dead. Ooh, look at that. I can't pick them up. Do I have any basic equipment? You can go. You can go. I probably want the legendaries. You know what? This can go as well. I want that legendary. Let's see what I got out of this. Is there anything good? It's better, but that's about it. When you use the pulverize, pulverize is now also an earth skill. Do I have a pulverize? I don't. It gives 46 armor, but I lower damage. I get shred, but I don't. I get 1 level in shred, so I don't lose that. So it's 17 times 3 is a number that's around the 40s, I guess. It'd be around 50. What is it, like 50 something? It's not worth it. But also, I should probably... Ooh, I like that. That's useful. I probably won't take this. Anything else I need to upgrade? That's probably better. I'm looking for green number. That's literally all I'm doing at this point. Green number. Green number. Green number go up. Green number go up. Cool. That's me. Look at this thing. Got a little more extra attack speed, and I've got this cool staff. What does it do? Now I want to see my staff. Ah, it doesn't really matter. Am I supposed to go down here? It says speak to a mysterious woman. Is there a woman right here? I don't see a woman. Is it down here? Did they go down this cool little stairway? They did. Hello. Tysa? Tysa? I mean, you have a demonic ritual tattooed into your body. Realistically, if I was being smart, I should have just ended you. A voice in your head is probably the voice of the primeval. A connection was made between you and her. I'm sorry that I stood here. You can't really see her. It doesn't really look good, honestly. I'm so sorry. I realized how inappropriate it is for me to be doing this. Elias? Yeah, I don't feel like a single stab would kill a boss. He's got a refuge? Somewhere in the desert of the eastern Kyrgyzstan. Well, thanks for that. I mean, the problem is that I still think that we should deal with that. Maybe someone's heard of this place. Yeah, but what about lady who has a connection with the primeval? Please, I really feel like we should get you to an exorcist of some kind. Or like the head of the church that I know has like a pretty big connection with the angel. No? No one? Is this not important? Am I simply talking to myself when I say this stuff? Is it not important to deal with the tattoos? Can you not get them removed? I know you can do that nowadays. Or at least get them turned into something that looks a bit better, like a flower or a sun or like a... Hello, withering... Oh. I don't think I want to call you withering trash. Because I mean, I don't even know you, mate. I don't think you're probably not that. Talking about this guy. What a title. Can I put my titles on, actually? Profile. That's me. Edit. Title. I am the... What should I be? The rabid? The rabid hound. Yeah, why not? I'm the rabid hound. That makes sense. I produce rabies, I do poison, and I am the closest you can get to a dog without being a dog. I guess I'm a domesticated dog. I can't believe that there's just... How do you get to a point where your king has a load of cannibals in his employee? You know, it's like... It's such a big change from what they are. Like, that doesn't happen in a day, surely, right? You don't just suddenly wake up and go, I'm going to build an army of incredibly powerful cannibals, and it just get done in a day. There must have been a slow, gradual, like, hey, I noticed that, like, all the prisoners aren't, like, leaving. I haven't seen a prisoner leave in a while from the from the prison. Even like the people that have done like minor crimes are just, they're not leaving. And then it goes to like, hey, I've noticed that like random people in like they just are out at night are just disappearing, or that like the guards are being a bit more brutal than usual. And then eventually I guess it goes to the point where it's like, yeah, the guards are being stupidly brutal. And that's the point where you're like, I've heard rumors that something weird's happening. And then maybe after that, it eventually would go to, yeah, they're blimmin' murdering people, and they're like, and it's definitely happening. And then only that probably happens once it's gone too far. But like, surely, you know what I mean? It's like, there's steps before you get to that point. It couldn't have been instant. I refuse to believe it was instant. If it was, that I could understand it if it was like a compulsion that was done by like a large ritual or something. And maybe that is, because I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping 100% to what the law says. Go stash the legendary, because why not? I should have done that on the other one, really. But I wanted the transmog. I could take or leave the transmog I have right now. But the transmog of the cool bird mask, that seems cool. I'm surprised they don't have a similar thing for the necromancer. Or they might, you know, you never know. Are you mad? If someone were to see you this, though, we must... Sure. Wait, there's cannibals here? What? Why? 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 And that feels like such a weird thing, but I guess... You ever look at this, like, world and, like, you see in these games and just be like... You gotta wonder, like... Why this place... Why you'd live in this place, you know? What would get you up and make you think, okay, I'm going to continue living here? Do I have to go down there? Yeah, I think I do. Because, like, nowhere seems good. Even the safe havens don't seem good. You know what I mean? It's like... So, like, where do you go? What's the end goal? Did it used to be okay? And now it's suddenly turned into this? That's my guess, at the very least. Oh. No, this isn't for you. Also, these beasts. Do you reckon these beasts are, like, evil? Or just beasts? You know? Because when you think about it, you're like... You know what, Still like around here. Why not? More relaxing jazz. More what you think of a jazz. I think that's called like the jazz I use there that I keep using because it's fun. It's just called like acid jazz or something. I'm gonna try, maybe not for this, maybe not for Wednesday stream, but maybe for like Friday stream or like next Monday stream, trying out the Streamlabs music app, because apparently that's pretty good, and I can guarantee then that I can get all my any form of copyright claims taken off. You must have better things to hear than a person. No, mate. I'm never going to stop somebody from blimmin' talking about their lost child. If I can help deal with the trauma even a bit by talking to me, then it's perfect. Hey, you guys got here. But today she just snapped. I have no idea. And I did comment about Carl, and maybe you can help. Oh, you're not gonna drug her. Oh, poor. I don't want her to be traumatized. I know it's realistic, and I know at the end of the day that it makes complete sense for her to, when she's trapped in a blooming cannibal prison. But I really hope this ends in a good ending, because it's about 50-50 in these side quests, whether it's a good or a bad ending. Like, I'm 90% sure that one where we were trying to find the remains, the guy was just like, he did the thing I don't really want to say out loud, but as soon as we left. I've got to hope that these places before this happened, they had the beasts, obviously, and maybe they had the occasional, like, demon or stuff, but it wasn't as widespread as this, and that it wasn't nearly as bad, because, by God, does this feel like this is Sanctuary. This is supposed to be a sanctuary from blimmin', from the horrors that are the normal Diablo world. And if this is the Sanctuary, I've seen what it is outside of the Sanctuary, and this isn't much better. Right at the point it is right now. So I'm hoping that, like, the bugs, look, sure, it makes sense for the bugs to still be around. But I'm hoping that, like, maybe they weren't as, like, what's the word? Like, as rabid before? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe, like, there wasn't as many of them, or maybe there was a bit more of, like, a guard system, like escorts that would take you from A to B, or, like, areas that were well trodden that meant that it was very unlikely that you would deal with any form of attacks when you were on them, that allowed for a bit. I obviously know that, like, it's based in a sort of, it's obviously based in a kind of what's the word, medieval sort of situation, and that one, in medieval situations, it's very likely that you could spend your whole life in a village and never move from said village, and that's not, like, abnormal. That's actually quite the norm. In fact, I know that at least in those time periods, there would be a lot bigger, what's the word, apprehension to anyone that actually wasn't just from your village. And then, like, the best you'd probably get would be going from your village to the local city or something. But I don't know, I feel like it's even worse in this situation. Wait, were you just lying on the floor dead? Or were you activated by me moving that? Are you like a regular human that just ate people? Or were you just like a weird robot? Because You weren't alive until I opened that thing, or at least you were indistinguishable. I couldn't tell the difference between you and a normal person. I'm really hoping this tea works, and it isn't like blood infused tea because that's the reason they were there, or something stupid like that. Come on. How do you feel? Come on, calm down, please. Please. Where? Oh, better, I think. Yes, I'm so sorry, I didn't know what came over me. There was a smell, and then that place. She's still I can giggle it more. Thank you. Good. Okay. I bet you know what it is, right? I don't think I'm being a genius for saying this, but you know what it bloody is, right? She got scared because she probably smelt however they cook the meat, with the cannibals. She probably smelled something similar here because this place. Okay, I may be overthinking this, but because that other guy said that there are secret cannibals here, or there might be, he probably caught the scent of whatever smell fresh human meat or like prepared human meat smells like. And it set something off in her brain that made her think back to the prison that she was in, and that's why she was traumatized suddenly from a smell. I might be completely out of it for saying this, but my headcanon is probably that's what happened. Oh, I died instantly. See what I mean when I said, like, I could get jumped and instantly killed? Right, we're just doing a run. No, I know that there's a jar there, but I don't want to do that. I want to go in here. I'm going to hopefully do this. I know that that doesn't give you much hope, the fact that I instantly died, but I trust myself. I trust myself in this. I was thinking about this when I was looking at... when I was thinking about my choice and whether I'd want to make another character after I finish this. Playing a different class. But I think I might have unintentionally, just by choosing the one that I'd like the most, chosen the one that was probably the best for me to choose. Because you've got the Barbarian, whose big mechanic is that he can have multiple weapons. And I think the logic is you switch to the weapon that's the most useful. And I'm not good at weapon switching in most games. I'm the guy who picks a weapon and goes, that's all I'm using. And even in games where weapon switching is a thing, we'll just completely ignore that unless it's either really intuitive to the point where even someone like me can figure it out, or you are basically forced to do it. And so I don't think Barbarian would be the best. Rogue is normally classified as being that kind of one where I don't think it's too much of an assumption to say that it's one of those ones that what's the word? You won't have a lot of health, and the logic is you dodge a lot. And as you can see from that fight against that Traitor King, I am not what you'd call good at dodging. How have I not found a single prisoner yet? I've probably gone past them. You know, it'd be cool if I had something for my rabies that was like, if they have rabies, you do more damage to them, or something. That'd be cool to have. No, that's just provisions again. Is this guy not a prisoner? No? Is he dead? Actually, now that I look at him, he looks like he's got a huge gash on his going down his belly. I'm guessing now that the mother is the primeval they're summoning. And I really think us taking that lady with us is gonna come back to bite us. And unless they say something along the lines that she's being heavily influenced by the primeval, I actually think it's just an incredibly stupid thing for her as a character to do. Who in their right mind, after going through absolute hell and had a demon like infused into your body without your permission, would go, I know what I want to do. I want to go and confront the guy that did this to me, even though he obviously is alive and he didn't finish the ritual and probably would want to see me again to finish said ritual. You know, I don't think that's weird to say. Obviously I know about revenge and wanting revenge, but I'm talking like, you're going out of your way to deal with... You're going out of your way to go to a guy who hasn't finished doing his ritual, effectively giving him access to the thing he hasn't finished, without even waiting until you're like full strength, or even know what's happening, or having any preparations against him just doing the ritual again. But I understand plots and all that, you have to do that kind of thing. I reckon there's a chance that we're going to see a situation where they do that whole big switcheroo where you find out that actually the guy who you think is, you know, who's summoning the primeval that you think is evil is actually like doing it for a good reason, and instead of being like evil, he's actually a good guy, but like he's an anti-hero kind of thing. You think there's any chance of that happening? I think it's not zero, but I think it's quite low chance that such a thing like that's going to happen. You know, I don't think they're going that route. I think there will be... I think that route is going to be done, but not by that character, because I think that's kind of the idea they're doing for our character at the moment. I mean, we've got the blessings of 3 primeval, but we're using said blessing for good, right? We're using it to deal with a evil that exists right now. That you can make an argument is the primeval at this point, because I think a lot of the primevals were not killed, because I don't think you can kill them, but either sealed or severely weakened. Oh, so they're captured not by the followers, but instead by a bunch of phantoms. I assumed the mother's followers were going to be the ones holding the people captive. And I'm sure they did put them there, because I don't think phantoms have much of a way of doing this to normal people. I don't know why, maybe it's the pessimist in my mind, but all I can think is one of these prisoners is actually just going to be somebody in disguise ready to attack me, right? I'm gonna let him out, and they're gonna be like, thank you for sealing your own death, and then turn into a demon. Where do you come from? Just gonna keep attacking. I like how I've done all of this stuff to get poison, but a lot of the time I still kill them before the poison has a huge effect. I think maybe it shows it. You get to show off a bit more of that ability when you when I'm fighting a boss, because when I'm fighting a boss, there's a lot of times where I'm focusing on dodging when it's like a big attack, and even when focusing on dodging, I'm also technically doing damage to them, and I think that's probably one of the big advantages of the poison. that's me trying to justify what actually is happening. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Oh, I thought it was 3, but it was 5. Okay, that makes sense. Look. There's a lot of... The ghosts, especially these wraiths, they do a lot of damage to me. I've noticed a lot of the time when the ghosts are there that I'm probably... Oh, big boy. Hello, big boy. You summon smaller boys that are shadow clones. But just like Naruto, you should have stuck to talking. Right, that's done. Another thing that I did actually over this week, I just remembered, was I started looking into the TTRPG system that people have made a fan-made one for Ruby. I think it's called Paradigm. I could be completely wrong there, but like it's something similar to that. Like it's one of, I think, like 2 Ruby TTRPG like actual system. Like I think there's more like GURPS, like ways you can do it that like are like edits to an existing system. But I think this is one of like 2 actual systems that they have in place. And I've played the other one. I've played the Ruby one. I would not recommend it. I think it's a bit rules light for my liking. But I'm quite a heavy advocate for more rules. Rules enough that give me the ability to have creativity, but also if I don't have... I think a bit that comes up a lot that I don't think the more creative people talk about, like the more like, you know, the literal content creators who inherently are creative by what they do. I know it's a bit hypocritical for me to say that, but I'm not doing the creative style things that like the people I'm talking about do. I think one of the things they miss is that, sure, when you are really good at role playing, you don't need as much of those rules to like to guide you in what to do. But when you are in a situation where maybe you're not as you know, you don't have as like that creative mind as maybe some other people do, but you still want to play D&D or another TTRPG system, then what is needed is enough rules in the game that can give you the framework and give you examples and give you things you can do that allow you to play it even if you are not the best at coming up with ideas. So one of the examples that I'd give for this, if just in case it's not obvious, is which I don't think I am. I assume all of my things are not very well explained a lot of the time. But one of the examples, say, is one of the big things in Ruby, which is, by the way, I realize I assumed you knew what Ruby is, but one of the things in Ruby is they have these things which are called semblances, which is effectively like special powers. They're special abilities. Like if you've watched My Hero Academia or like X-Men, it's like their power. There's a base power that effectively turns all of them into like superhumans, and then there's the semblances, which are the things that make them unique, whether it's like mutation, like mutants from X-Men, or whether it's like quirks from like My Hero Academia. It's the thing that makes them different from the other people. And for most people, it's not genetic or anything. There are exceptions to this, of course, but for the most part, it's not genetic, and it's just you know, effectively randomly given. Although I think it's influenced to a certain extent by your personality, because it seems to mirror your personality. You could make an argument that it's not it mirroring your personality, it's your personality becoming, because you had it since you were born, whether you knew it or not, it's it being there as a fundamental thing in your life for so long. But anyway, that's semantics, right? The whole point with that is it, you know, it can be quite hard to figure out, right? It's the thing that fundamentally makes your character, and so you have to have a, it's one of the most, if not the most important thing to think about. And I win those situations, especially with me, I need some assistance with that. I need some either examples or at least guidelines that you can use for how to make such a like an ability. And I feel like many other systems combat this by very simply giving you both examples and like some structure, like types of semblances for you to use as sort of a guideline, right? I felt very much like the other system did not have that. It's got some other things that I think are very good. Like, I think they go into a bit more detail about the different kinds of, like, dust, which is a magical material you use to effectively cast magic in that world. They go into a bit more of a detail about, like, what that does. But I think, in general, I think it just needed a bit more structure, a bit more of an bit more of examples and stuff like that, which were added in the system I was looking at now.
Look.
What? Look at what? They said look. Oh, not me. I imagine that's somebody else's character. Ooh, 2 quests up here. I think I'll do one of these quests and then call it. Stop saying look. Who's saying look? Not me. I'm not a lady. I'm not Lady Demon. Not that guy. Is it that thing? Is it that weird snake? Who summoned these things? Did I do that? Where you summon? You weren't here before. What's this? Traditions. Why not? Let's do this one. We'll finish this off. Then we'll teleport back to like some sort of safe spot. And then we'll call it a night. I'm a tired boy. And I wasn't able to... What do I have to do here? Study to statue, you keep positions. Yeah. Hello. Give me a second.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
What do I do? What do I do? Is it this one?
I could use some assistance.
What do I do here?
Well done.
What? I don't know what that one is about. Don't die. Okay. Map. This one. I want that. What does it say? Show the ancient statue that you keep to traditions. What are the traditions? Am I a dingus? Let me read the quest. Say yes, I keep our traditions. Oh, is it? Do I have to say yes? Is that it? Customize. Is there a yes emote? There is. I'll put it there. Why not? Save changes.
Yes.
That's it? Okay, that was a boring one. We're doing the Augur of Bones. That sounds much more fun. I'm not ending on you say yes to a statue and then that's it. I'm very much a simple guy. If I see the ability, if I playing a game that like this, I want to be killing stuff, and then probably also killing stuff and having a good reason for doing it. Keep these silent, rotting bones, useless liars. Useless liars. The grinning one, receive its gift. All of you. I like this guy. Lifted deep. But no answers, no words, only headaches. Yeah, I like this guy. Beings unfit for the grinning one. He's trying to turn people's bones into a drug, let's be honest. Yes, yes. Anyone who says yes, yes, immediately trustworthy. Immediately trustworthy. Why would I sniff the... I'm not gonna sniff the dust. Why would I do that? You're obviously dying from it. And I'm probably not doing... I know I just talked about feeling good about it, but now I'm looking at this. I probably am not... To help this guy with his addiction is probably not the right thing to be doing. You know what? The game has told me that this is a quest. They have given me a mission. And by Jove, I'm not one of those people who's smart enough to know if I'm being tricked. And no, I have not ever said by Jove before, and I have no idea why I said by Jove there. I retrieved the book. Dust. The secrets are here. The secrets are here. Yes, yes. The grinning. He dies. He can't be alive after this, right? He's gonna die. He's sniffing bone dust. I wonder if the grinning one's probably a lesser evil, right? I wonder if it's either a lesser evil or just a... Or maybe like a demon? Or maybe it's just an idiot. Yeah, only the worthy and the grinning one's attention prove themselves. Now they know true happiness, that bliss boundless. That's what I heard. Prove your worth before me and receive my eternal gift. You probably turn into a demon, mate. Which does actually sound not horrendous, actually. Or maybe you just read this and forgot that you read the sign. To the shrine of the old one. See its majesty with your own eyes. Prove his worth. Oh god, this is gonna be horrendous, isn't it? Where is he? Over here. Jesus, that's a long way. Like, is there a place closer? I think this is just faster. I really should do the quest that gets me a horse. I don't know if I can get access to it yet. And feel like I should have the horse by now. But I don't remember what level I've seen other people going around with a horse with. And also, walking around does mean that I'm dealing with more enemies, which isn't horrendous. If I could easily walk away from them. Because now, actually, now that I think about it for a second, it's kind of horrendous. I really... It makes you wonder in this game why... Like, you gotta assume everything red is, like, caked in blood, right? But then, there can't be that many things that produce that much blood. So it's so much blood that they have to use. You want to wonder, like, how are there so many things still alive after all that killing? You know, it's like, surely at that point there's not enough left for them to kill. My spacebar stopped working. Oh, maybe my keyboard stopped working. Well, that's worrying. Oh, no, it's back. Never mind, I'm fine. Oh, maybe not. I need to get a new keyboard at some point. Okay. Seems fine. If I lost the ability to dodge in a boss fight, I'd probably be dead. Because as much as I don't dodge very much, the big obvious attacks I seem to be able to dodge. Barely. I do love these bone ballistas that they show off. It's something I've seen I haven't seen before, and that kind of idea is real. I love any form of bone construct that's done that isn't obvious, you know. I feel a bit mean because I started a cutscene while leading everything to that guy, but look, I'm sorry, but yeah, you're worthy. Winding walls, endless halls, laughing from the deep. It's just gonna be a demon, mate. Offerings of devotion, offerings from those once worthy. Undead? Not made of for demons and darkness. No. Then you're not worthy. You're not worthy then. No. You know what? No. Bullshit. Make yourself worthy of this stuff. I'm not going into this dungeon. I want to go to sleep. Well, I'll do it maybe off stream. I don't know. I'm not planning on turning this into a series, or else I would have started at the start. Right then. I am going to call it a night. I hope you've all had fun. I hope my incessant talking about WrestleMania hasn't put you off. Because I bloody love it, but I understand that it could get on people's nerves. Sure, I'll do that. I don't know what any of those are. Could get on people's nerves if they're not really into it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll be seeing you guys. Bye. See you on Wednesday.